are now being joined by Mr. Bismarck Rewane, who's joining us virtually. And Mr. Rewane, good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, and nice to be here.
So let's look at it from the Dangote perspective. Well, we are so looking forward to Dangote listing this year, because then we'll also be discussing Dangote the way we have just discussed Owendu and Aradel. You are close to sources, Mr. Rewane. When can we expect this listing? Because a lot of people are asking, they want to be a part of this very juicy refinery.
I have 4 words for you. 4 words. Answer your question. Keep your fingers crossed.
It will start paining me after a bit, Mr. Rewane, so I wish we would know.
Keep your fingers crossed, Kenny. Don't be too much in a hurry.
Okay, all right.
Every good thing comes slowly. Okay. So
we also hear that Dangote Refinery.
It's going to be a winning investment. Make no mistake about that. 1, invest in naira, get your dividend in dollars. That's the first thing that you have to note. Okay.
I hope the ordinary people will be allowed to invest.
No, everybody. It's a democratization of the economic process. So everybody will get a bite, right? But now that you talk about, let me go back to the oil price and the refining process in Nigeria and the effects of the Dangote refinery. 1, the oil price at $67 a barrel is based on the fact that we think that the US and Iran are going to be talking about how to have a nuclear deal, which the world had before, and it was cancelled. Now we're going to go back to that. Not so much about killing protesters, or because Iran is a very hot spot, so you don't want anything to spill over. So right now, we have to be very clear as to what we think. But one thing you have to note, and I listened to your previous speaker, there's a difference between prediction and projection. Predictions are made like clairvoyant soothsayers who say that it's going to, this is going to happen, that man is going to die, or this, specific outcomes. Projections are what we do, telling you the conditions, under these conditions and under this scenario, this will be the likely outcome. So you are not a prediction person, you are not a soothsayer, but you believe in projections. Having said that, there are 3 things that you have to clear your mind about the Dangote refinery. The Dangote refinery is what we call a merchant. They have a merchant model rather than a pipeline model. In other words, they import crude or different crudes and blend from different parts of the world and blend it together and process. So what you find at the end of the day is that it's more like the Rotterdam, the Singapore model, where you import, refine, and then sell out, as against Oman, Saudi Arabia, where the pipeline goes straight to the refinery and you produce from there. 2 is that there's the production, pricing, and distribution model. Production is optimized because you are even taking crude from Nigeria, taking some imported crude, and putting it there, and producing naphtha, producing PMS, producing diesel, and producing dual-purpose kerosene. So the production is optimized, and they're testing for a full. In February, the Dangote refinery is going to be testing for optimal and maximum utilization in February. Therefore, using a single train model, they'll be able to maximize output. 2 is pricing. The pricing issues between the independent marketers and importers, other refineries, and Dangote refinery, that's pretty much settled. We now know who the price leaders are, and we now know who the price followers. But there's something in it. There's a win-win situation. Winning for the man who has invested, or the company that has invested over $25 to $30 billion in the Nigerian refining space, and those who have also invested in tank farms and are importing some products and also buying from the Dangote refinery. Dangote refinery has 4,000 trucks, CNG-powered trucks, to deliver across the country, almost at uniform pricing. They also have a marine evacuation by a boat, but outside of Lagos, that works. That is they deliver with their badges all the way to Warri, Port Harcourt, Calabar, and other areas. But for Lagos, there are two options. One, by boat, which is more expensive, or by truck. So we have that. We have the distribution model, which is efficient. We have the pricing, which has been optimized in terms of comparing the Nigerian price. You can now see that there's almost an equivalent price, both by NNPC stations and the Dangote, the MRS refinery. So everything seems to be working. But what we must not forget is that before now, and I've said it many times, last year and the year before and previous years, we had clearly queues, we had distortions, and we had instability in production. Now, those are things of the past. All that we know is that we can produce all that we need, export some as well, and that there's last Christmas, no queues, last New Year, no queues, Salah is coming up next month, no queues, Easter. So the days of queues are past. The days of multiple pricing is almost over. And also the days of poor quality imports which damage people's cars is also over. I think that we have to bear that in mind.
Mr. Rewane, so I know that, late last year in December, there was the news that Dangote may not optimally distribute his products, because of maintenance and all of that. And we saw a reaction of that at the pump price. Now, with this news, that we have for February and all of that, what reaction can we really expect? What could happen, or what reaction could we expect, both from the players, other players in the industry, especially from them?
Dangote's work program includes maintenance, periodic maintenance. And every time they're going to do that, they already have a stockpile of products and all that. There'll be no disruption. Dangote has guaranteed that there'll be no disruption at the production level, at the distribution level, and the outlets. So I don't think the panic buying that took place at one point in time when they said there was a rumor that there was Dangote Refinery was going to be closed for maintenance was just a carryover of the historical prejudice of the past. I don't want to call it prejudice, historical fears of the past, where people are afraid that, because of this announcement, it's not going to come. But in the importation of refined product model, you lock down a price, you order the products, you ship it all the way here, and then from Atlas go to the various outlets. That was a very long and winding process. But now it's being done locally. The crude comes to Dangote Refinery locally. He also imports some. And then he refines. And actually, the refining is a fractional distillation process, they distill. And then you have the products. I can assure you that there will be no shortages and no queues and no disruption to production. And let us be clear in our minds about one thing. The refinery employs a lot of people. The refinery takes crude and processes, but the companies that depend on refined products for logistics, for distribution, right, are the ones with the linkage effects on other industries. Those are the ones that benefit more than any other company, than any other sector in the country. And those guys are really having a feel that things are now more certain, and with certainty comes confidence. With confidence comes more investment. With more investment comes greater output and the quality of life and the standard of living of the people.
All right, Mr. Rewane, outside that, I noticed that the gap between the Naira, the value of the Naira, in the parallel and the official market is growing again. As at yesterday, it's about 96 Naira. Should we be worried?
Yes. No, I don't think so. The point is that the central bank has multiple instruments for managing, one, money supply, two, price expectation, inflation expectations, and also regulating the banking system to say that it's safe and sound. Those are the core. That's the core mandate of the central bank. So when you want to determine whether a currency is in fair value, you have to look at the various ways of computing or addressing an exchange rate. When you look at it, the difference between all of these rates, because there's the official rate, there's the IATA exchange rate for buying tickets, there's the parallel market rate for cash, and then there's parallel market rate for transfers. And then there's the purchasing power parity price or value of the naira. All of these things are within a band of about not more than 2 or 3%. So 10% of is usually the at which point you begin to panic if there's a distortion of 10%. At 1400, 10% is about 140. The difference you see today between the PPP value, the official rate, is much lower than that. If you take the difference between the parallel market on cash in the market and transfers by the central bank, you'll find that it's about 95, 90 naira. It is still below, it's about 6%. Under normal circumstances, you don't panic if the difference between those two are not in excess, are lower than 10%. So what do we see? We think that the central bank will, over time, they're watching interest rates, they're watching money supply aggregates, they're watching high-powered money and transmission effects. Over time, the central bank we suspect the central bank will begin to bring, will manage those rates and ensure that there's no opportunity for arbitrage. But definitely, we think that the official rate at current levels may need to may need some adjustment. But that the people that work on that in central bank are very clear. They have all the data, and if you want foreign exchange today in the parallel market, you get as much as you want. If you want foreign exchange today in the official market to open an LC, you get as much as you want. And there are no shortages of foreign exchange. We're talking about petrol queues. There are no queues today as far as foreign exchange is concerned. Therefore, the fear that foreign exchange will not be available when you want it, that the exchange rate is going to depreciate sharply like it did 2 years ago, that is far-fetched. Again, and that the currency itself, I want you to bear one thing in mind, that the dollar itself has been falling against other currencies because of the tariff wars and all other things that you're seeing in the, in the global market. We believe that there's a time when you have dollar appreciation or dollar depreciation and naira appreciation. If it happens at the same time, you will find that there's no need to panic. But let us look at the naira versus the pound. The naira versus the pound went as low. The naira depreciated to about 2,100 naira to the pound. It's now at about 1989. Therefore, against other currencies, you'll find that the naira has been relatively stable. Against the dollar, there's been some volatility because of various things that are happening and the relationship between the price of gold and the value of the dollar. So there's no need to panic. The naira is not going to fall off the cliff. The naira has been stable and has been appreciating.
All right, Mr. Rewane, thank you for that assurance. And we do hope that we don't get back to those days, you know, when the gap
No, those days are gone and gone forever.
All right. Thank you so much, Chief Executive Officer of Financial Derivatives Company, Mr. Bismarck Rewane.
Thank you for having me.